Okay.
You know, and knowing that you're going to be doing that, let me just see where we have the. Yeah, we'll put that when the time comes. We'll put that up.
What else are you looking for?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
So is everyone, it's time, we'll put this on this so that you can stand on both.
And people will see
That
you.
way we'll see you.
I do. I have what I don't have is candle lighting. Having that moment. Oh. Gonna light. Okay.
We're working hard tonight.
Yeah, let's cool the windows. Shabbat Shalom, welcome. It's our custom here before we greet Shabbat to greet one another. So if you haven't had an opportunity, say hello, introduce yourselves. Shabbat Shalom. Are there folks online?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear folks online, so say hello online as well if you can. And please offer everybody a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're going to start on page 140 with Tov Lahodot, page 140.
And I happen to love this melody. It's very, very sweet. Kenny Chasen is the composer. Tov leodot l'Adonai, u'samer l'shimcha elyon. Tov leodot l'Adonai, u'samer l'shimcha elyon. On this the day of days, my lips will sing your praise, for I know that you'll always be here surrounding me. Tov leodot l'Adonai, u'samer l'shimcha elyon. Tov leodot l'Adonai, u'samer l'shimcha elyon. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, as you'll be hearing in our service this evening, this Shabbat thematically is a special one. We call it Repro Shabbat, in which we're partnering with the National Council of Jewish Women as a way of bringing the whole Jewish community together to talk about what our tradition teaches about reproductive health and rights and justice. And when we study, we know reproductive freedom is a Jewish value, and we'll have an opportunity to do some of that this evening. And during a year when abortion access matters more than it ever has in many of our lifetimes, B'nai Israel remains committed to this work, as I hope our service will attest. We turn to page 120 for candle lighting, led by Brittany and Greg. Page 120 in our prayer books.
Share the shining of mitzvotai shall obizivani shall Shabbat. Okay, multitask. Here we go.
And then you can say the translation.
Our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We now turn in our prayer books to page 142, page 142 for Shalom Aleichem.
And many of the tunes I've chosen tonight were composed by women composers. This one by Debbie Friedman, who absolutely positively championed women's causes. So, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Ayon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu L'Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
The Chatzi Kaddish will be found on page 144, page 144.
Yitgadav, Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divrach Yirutei V'yamlich Malchutei, B'chayechon Uv'yomechon, Uv'chaye Dekol Bet Yisrael, Bagala, Bagala, Uvizman Kariv, V'himeru, Amen, Yehi Shemei Rabbah Mevorach, Le'alam U'me'omaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yiromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yithaleh, V'yithalal, Shemei Dekudisha Brihu, Leila min kol bechata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran be'alma, V'himeru, Amen.
Turn to page 146. We rise and does anybody come forward to help lead the bar? Page 146.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
I read it on the bottom of page 148. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on Abram.
Baruch atah Adonai Hamarif Haravi.
And on the bottom of page 150, praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Page 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam
Please be seated. The Ve'ahavta, page 154. Jezenia leads us in the Ve'ahavta.
Haftarah et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher
Anochi mitzadecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'leftecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu latotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai V'yitem kadoshim le'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim L'chiot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. Emet, thank you. Good job. We turn to page 156. I read towards the bottom of the page. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously. Mi Chamocha will be found on page 158. And Linda, I think we have a helper to lead. Xavier, come on right up to help lead the clapping for Mi Chamocha. Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. On camera as well over the, perfect, okay.
Here we go. Mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, no one tehila osem v'eleh, no one tehila osem v'eleh. Mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, no one tehila osem v'eleh, no one tehila osem v'eleh. Who is like you, O God? Your power is awesome and mighty. The eternal will reign forever, forever and ever. Mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, no one tehila osem v'eleh, no one tehila osem v'eleh. Mi Well, thank you,
Thank
Xavier.
you. Good job. On page 160, blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. On page 162, Yismechu, the second Hebrew prayer down on the page, our prayer for Shabbat.
Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei Oded Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei Oded Shabbat. Mekadeshem Shevi Shabbat. Kulam Yismechu V'yitangu metuvecha Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei Oded Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei Oded Shabbat. V'yashvi Ratzita bo v'kidashta Shabbat. Hendat yami oto karata Shabbat. La 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 Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei Oded Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei Oded Shabbat. Zeher L'maaseh Bereshit Shabbat. Zeher L'maaseh Bereshit Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei Oded Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei Oded Shabbat.
We now turn to page 164. We invite those who are able to rise for the tefillah. We'll be chanting the prayers on the right-hand pages, beginning page 164, continuing to page 170.
Adonai Sifata Tiftach Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibur v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomer moedim tovim, v'konei hakol, v'zocher hastervot ve'imahot, umevi gula lifnei b'neihem, l'man shemo be'ahava. Melech Ozer Moshiach u'Magehin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atav rav v'hoshia, Mechalkel chayim b'chesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Tzahomech noflim v'rofeh holim, Umatir asurim, Umekayim emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha bal givurot, Umido melach, Melech memit u'mechaye, u'matzmiach Yeshua, v'nehemana talech hachayot ha'kol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mikayei ha'kol.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God.
Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh.
Please be seated. Here is a prayer for those denied abortion care. May you be safe. May a canopy of safety and peace, health and care cover you, despite everything you are now forced to endure. May you find ways to own your body, your agency, and your dignity, despite everything the government has taken from you. May you be surrounded by a community of caring hands and loving hearts who can hold you. May you always know that you are holy, sacred, and your will, your autonomy matters, should be respected as such. May you be protected in all ways, able to weather the material, physical, emotional, and spiritual hardships that come your way. May you find within yourself resilience, strength, and bravery. May you know that you are not alone. Determined to remain steadfast until that canopy of safety and peace are there for those in need, may we in turn be agents of comfort and hope. Shalom Rav, page 178.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech Adon l'chol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'necha livorech et amecha Yisrael b'choret u'b'chosha l'shlomecha. Shalom Rav
page 180.
Oh, say shalom, bimroma, uya say shalom aleinu. Be'alkol Yisrael, ve'alkol yoshvei tevei. Ve'imeru amen.
We turn to page 364 for Seder Torah to Torah for our Torah service this evening. We invite those who are able to kindly please rise as the Torah will be taken from the ark. We sing Ki Mitzion, page 364.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai miYerushalayim.
Please be seated. Now, this Shabbat was selected as Shabbat Repro because of the segment of Torah that I'll be reading this evening. And it explains that should someone accidentally cause a miscarriage, the penalty is financial damages only. The understanding, the case is not treated as manslaughter or murder, that in ancient times would demand the death penalty. Indeed, were the pregnant person herself to suffer other serious injury, as we'll read, other and more severe penalties are prescribed. As such, there isn't a biblical justification for those equating abortion with murder, just the opposite. No less an authority than Rabbi Judah the Prince, the leader, one of the ancient rabbis and leaders, quotes this verse to avow a monetary payment instead. Exodus, we're going to be looking at chapter 21, verses 19 through 27. You'll see that on the Torah, those with Torah commentaries. It's page 568, and you'll see it right at the top of the page. And we invite forward Margie and Jonathan Hertz for the Aliyah to the Torah this evening. And please, and I'll be beginning the reading right here.
Okay, so we start.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol hamim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And if you can hold the Torah scroll right here. Amen. And as I begin the section which I'm beginning is talking about what happens to servants who have been harmed by the person who is in charge. Ve'im yakum hikalech bachutz al mishanto v'neka hamakeh rak shivto yiten v'rapo yirafeh. And it starts with what I'm reading with a case of what happens if somebody has been injured and if they're able to move about, they're compensated for the period of time that they were ill in bed and for the cost of their healing. V'chi yakeh ish et abdo o et amato b'shevet mut tachat yado nakom yinakem ach im yom o yamim ya'amod lo yakum ki kaspohu. And then a case of a servant who has been beaten by their master. If they die, that person will face judgment for that. V'chi yinatsu anashim v'nafku isha hara v'yatso yilada v'lo yihye ason. And in the case when two men are fighting and they should then push into or harm a pregnant woman, causing her to miscarry. V'lo yihye ason, and but if nothing else happens, anosh yenesh ka'asher yashit alav ba'al ha'isha, then they shall have to pay a restitution, the sum of which will be determined by the husband of the woman, v'natan biflulim, as rendered according to the judges, in other words, in court. Ve'im ason yihye, but should some other harm come, v'natata nefesh tachat nefesh, in that case it is life for life, ayin tachat ayin, eye for eye, shen tachat shen, tooth for tooth, yad tachat yad, hand for hand, regel tachat ragel, foot for foot. In other words, this is no more than this for that as a type of punishment. Kavia tachat kavia, burn for burn, petza tachat patza, wound for wound, chavura tachat chavura, and strike for strike. V'chi yakeh ish et ein abdo ve'et ein amato v'shachata l'chofshi yishalchenu tachat eno ve'im shein abdo o shein amato yapil l'chofshi yishalchenu tachat shino. And in the final one, there is the case where a master strikes a servant, causing them to lose an eye or a tooth. And in that case, the servant goes free because of what has happened to them with that.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Just lovely. I ask that for all of us who are able, we rise as the Torah itself will be raised, dressed, and returned to the ark. Asher Sam Moshe Lifnei Bnei Yisrael Al Pi Adonai B'yad Moshe. La 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 la. Page 374, bottom of the page. It's Chaim L'ma Chasikim Ba V'tomcheha Me'ushar Derachea Darchei Noam V'kol netivotecha Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha V'nashuva Kadesh Kadesh Yameinu Kadesh Yameinu Kekedem. Please be seated. And at this point in our service, we are mindful of several people as we offer our special Misha Berach prayer for healing. We are mindful of Yvette Mickenberg, Reverend Ken Frazier, Pat Marignani, Laura Pickman, Amora Tzvia, Mina Bat Ita, Vitzvi Hirsch, Max Berkowitz, Judy Sherman, Alex Greenberg, Eleanor Weckler, June Molina, Sandy Slater, Joe Hockheiser, Ina Borensweig. We're also mindful tonight of the 2 Jewish men shot over a 24-hour period in an apparent hate crime in Los Angeles this week. There are also those for whom we pray privately, including people over the world fighting COVID-19. For those in our sanctuary, please share aloud the names of people for whom we likewise publicly pray this Shabbat.
Lita Watkins.
And for those on Zoom, kindly unmute
Most of them do, that's the way to do it.
and say aloud the names of those.
Just because you're giving them that word, they're gonna memorize it.
Norma
Those-
Hecker,
You have a word that rhymes.
Michelle Klein, and Gil Abramson.
Preston Tallman.
Norit Hockhauser.
For all, may the Holy One send healing and shelter in protection. Our Misha Berach prayer is found on page 371.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Lahimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mikor HaBracha
having participated in Repro Shabbat for a few years now, I've learned that it's not the answer. My citing for this elect gathering, a few wise ancient texts explaining how the Torah never considered a fetus an actual life, as neither did our sages nor later generations of rabbis, will not overnight turn the tide of opinion on so contentious a religious, cultural, and societal divide. Last year was a case in point. Notwithstanding our B'nai Israel observance of Repro Shabbat, my sermon, and likely more impactfully, Linda's wonderful music, as well as notwithstanding its observance at synagogues across the nation, in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health, notwithstanding as well the amicus briefs from innumerable Jewish organizations, the Supreme Court still determined to overturn the landmark Roe versus Wade decision. In so doing, the court dramatically set back healthcare delivery to millions of fellow Americans, some 40 million fellow Americans, and in particular, the most vulnerable amongst us. So let us not expect, as a consequence of our focus, some magical end to the efforts to curtail women's bodily autonomy. Instead, as the New York Times reported yesterday, it seems that just the opposite is occurring. The vast majority of the 300 bills in 40 state legislatures seek to restrict access to abortion. Dozens of these bills endeavor to further intimidate medical practitioners and criminalize medical practice, thus greatly endangering the lives of women. For example, a bill in Wyoming would have doctors and nurses whom either perform abortions or prescribe medications for them face lengthy prison terms. Other states seek or have established laws to suspend medical licenses or impose heavy fines. The Talmud understands the status of the fetus during the first 40 days to be that of, quote, mere fluid. Some 66% of the abortions in the United States happen during that time period. Rabbi Judah Hanassi ruled that regarding the fetus, that it should be considered part of, quote, a woman's thigh. That is part of her body, not an independent entity. In Jewish law, the mother's life takes absolute precedence. She is mandated, she is commanded to protect herself should the pregnancy endanger her. None of this has yet to sway those officials. And while Connecticut remains a haven for choice, we likewise can't ignore a national effort to ban abortion entirely, as was proposed last year by Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. Such pronouncements that we've made have yet to sway them. All of which leads me to a second understanding. If Repro Shabbat is not the answer, Repro Shabbat remains part of the solution, an important element for those seeking dignity, autonomy, and inclusion. Rabbi Israel Salanter, the 19th century founder of the Musar movement in Judaism, highlighting ethical consciousness. I haven't forgotten about my Musar assignment. Trust me, I haven't. Rabbi Salanter, the founder of Musar, once likened a human being to a bird. Rabbi Salanter explained, a bird can move upward and upward so long as it moves its wings. If we are to advance at all, we too must remain engaged, rejecting despair or passivity. We must continue to learn, and educate, and advance, and advocate on behalf of women's rights and our ancient understandings. We must be knowledgeable and resolute. So let me reiterate those teachings grounded in the wisdom of our past. As we read from the Torah tonight, potential life is not accorded the same status as actual life. Abortion is permitted and sometimes required in Jewish law. Moreover, Judaism also reveres privacy and a private realm in which individuals or families can grapple with challenging decisions. The morning blessing, Ma Tovu, how lovely are your tents, O Jacob, emanates from the understanding that the people arranged their tents to guarantee one another privacy. This is the deep-seated value that all too many lawmakers are ready to strip from women, their families, and healthcare practitioners. Our tradition deems malicious gossip a sin. It does not countenance the political rhetoric that shames and stigmatizes women and their choices. The National Council of Jewish Women has become the organizer of Repro Shabbat. NCJW reports that 1 in 4 people who can become pregnant will have an abortion by the age of 45. Another statistic explains that 59% of people who have abortions are already parents. The lesson: abortion is neither theoretical nor something that happens to other people. No wonder millions of other Americans join us in supporting reproductive freedom. A recent Pew survey states that currently 61% say abortion should be legal in all or most cases, while 37% say it should be illegal in all or most cases, 61% to 37%. Many pundits attribute the results in the last election specifically to unease in the aftermath of the Supreme Court's Dobbs decision. A bird can move upward and upward so long as it moves its wings. May we remain steadfast and determined to stand for ongoing commitments to health, autonomy, privacy, and respect. As we've done so this year and in past years, may we do so next year and as long as necessary. For while not the answer in and of itself, Repro Shabbat is in fact part of the solution. Ken Yehi Ratzon, be this God's will. Our service now continues as we begin our concluding prayers with the Aleinu, page 586. And I think that, Josena, if we invite you forward to open the ark, it'll be 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 in terms of Shabbats where you've come to do that. So please come forward to open our ark. Page 586, we invite those who are able to rise for the Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeat lahadon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kugeye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot hadama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, Vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, vahanaknu korim, umishtachavim umodim, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Thank you. Please be seated. V'ne'emar, page 591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Page 598. At this moment in our service, we now call to mind our own beloved dead. We pray on their behalf. We voice the confidence that they are remembered for blessing. I ask that those in mourning or remembering the anniversary of the death of a loved one to rise if you are able when their name is mentioned, whether you're in the sanctuary, whether you're joining us on Zoom or YouTube. During Shloshim, we remember Virginia Earring, mother of Pat Megiddo, Harold Epstein, brother of Sharon Goldman, and Sylvia Albert. Remember the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Molly Leah Blank, Layla Farrer, Samuel L. Friedman, Helen Gleiberman, Gloria Golfin, Phyllis Klausner, Madeline Corkin, Ella Light, Harry Molliver, Rose Molliver, Albert Nathanson, Irving Pollock, Catherine A. Raffel, and Howard Volgamuth. We ask our worshipers in our sanctuary, should you have a dear one to add, to please rise and say their name. And we ask our worshipers on Zoom to unmute and say the name of their loved one.
Marie Lawson.
For those in our sanctuary, should you wish, we invite you to offer a short remembrance of a dear one on our Kaddish list. Just raise your hand for the microphone. And we remember the Ukrainian victims of Russia's invasion. Each Shabbat, we also mention 6 names amongst the 6 million murdered in the Holocaust, the Shoah. This week, remember Aaron Dubov, Gutkin Kleiman, Manya Yelenetsky, Moshe Yelenetsky, Jenna Berlin, and Solomon Berlin. In remembrance and solidarity, and on behalf of those for whom there was no one but us to say Kaddish, we now invite all to rise, if you are able, our Kaddish prayer, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, B'alma divrach hirute v'amlich malchute, B'chaye echon uvyome echon, U'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata dameran bi'alma v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Zichronam levracha, may their memories be for blessing. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. Stephen Reps is the president of B'nai Israel.
Good evening all. Nice to see everyone on a rather unusual and busy week. Thank you, Rabbi and Linda, for a wonderful service, and for all participants this evening. Xavier, you are a rock star. Any good news to share here in the sanctuary? How about online? Unmute and tell us some good news this week.
Actually, I can say that Dan and I are going to Orlando on Monday with their grandsons and our son. So,
Disney?
yeah.
Wonderful. You're going to have a great
So we're
time.
looking forward to that.
Birthdays or anniversaries. Tomorrow morning, Torah study at 10:30 a.m. in person and online. Sunday, enjoy the day. No religious school and no intro to Judaism. Tuesday, Rabbi's discussion group and religious school. Next Shabbat, services at 7 o'clock with Lisa Siegel as our soloist. Please be sure to order your Heather's Heavenly Hamantaschen, just $15 per baker's dozen. Order blanks are in the gallery, or you can contact the office or Heather Sipley directly for your orders. Hold some dates. Sunday, March 5th at 10 a.m., Megillah Mania. Sunday, March 19th, 10:30 in the multipurpose room, iPhone tech support presentation. Learn about your camera and photos, texting, sending and receiving messages, FaceTiming with friends and family. Wednesday, April 5th at 6 o'clock, Congregational Seder. Saturday night, April 29th, save the date for a special gala event honoring 25 years of B'nai Israel, 25 years with Rabbi Eric, 150 years as a synagogue, and 20 years in the building. Invitations to all congregants will be going out very shortly, and this is going to be really a big event. We're working on it weekly, very hard, and it's going to be really something special. We're going to be inviting not only all our congregants, but the surrounding religious leaders and lawmakers. We already have commitments to attend by our first selectman, Jeffrey Manville, and our congresswoman of the 5th Congressional District, Johanna Hayes. She will be here. For those on Zoom, Rabbi Eric will log in about 15 minutes after Motzi to say hello. Great to see everyone. Have a great weekend, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. And let me just reiterate. I was on a number of congregational websites this week. Heather's $15 for what are the best Hamantaschen. Really, it's a very competitive price. When I was looking at sort of what others are charging, it's a real deal. Additionally,
people from a job should get nice orders.
yeah, absolutely they should. And next week, Linda is in Florida. Lisa will be here with me. The part of the theme next week, it will be, it's a sad anniversary. It's a year since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We'll be focusing in part on Ukrainian Jewry next week in our service. Yigdal, page 628. I spoke a bit tonight about Jewish understandings and Jewish values. If there's one prayer which sort of tries to synopsis them all, it is this prayer, Yigdal. We'll be doing the first, the second, and then the last verse of Yigdal. Yigdal Elohim Chai, V'yishtabach, Nimsa v'yedei Echad v'en yachid k'yichudo Ne'lam v'gam ein sof la'achduto En lo demut haguf ve'eno guf Lo nareh ela kedushato
Rishon v'Reshit v'Reshito. Haye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Adei Hashem tehilato. Haye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Adei Hashem tehilato.
On page 123 is our Kiddush. So please join with Linda and me.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotov v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom tehillah lemikrayei kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim ki vanu bacharta Yotanu kidashta mikol hamid v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hichaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Not bad this week.
You never know.
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
May God's presence be with you and give you peace. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.